Hey folks, welcome back. We're out here in one part of the bush you probably don't see too often here on Sawing with Sandy. And this part of the bush I don't come to that often because I don't have any dedicated trails here, at least not in the nice weather. I have dedicated trails, but it's in the winter, and obviously it's not that quite yet. You guys can see we're having a bit of a fluctuating temperature here in the early parts of December. So we got a little bit of snow, but the temperature is heading back up above zero today. I'm gonna get out because it's pretty good weather to get some work done. What I've got marked here, and you guys can see some orange markers. You might be able to see me that way and a little bit this way. Those orange markers are there because I'm going to put a trail through here because I have a ton of wood that came down in a tornado probably 4 or 5 months ago that I haven't got around to getting out of the bush. Now, let's snake our way through here. You guys can see what we're dealing with. I was in here just having a little peekaboo here yesterday, and I noticed there is far more wood and damage in here than I originally thought. And if you guys look there, you can see all the trees are blown over. This used to be all dense bush here, like sort of up on the hill there. Used to be all dense bush. Right here alone, there's probably 4 or 5 trees, and if you look up there, they've gone up that way, and you look down here, they've gone down this way, and I've got trees in there down, and trees over there down, and yeah, there's a ton of work to be done in here, but the first thing I need to do is get some access in here, and so that's what I'm up against today. As I mentioned, I put these orange markers here, and you can see my ATV up there. I put the orange markers here to more or less pave out the way for where I'm going to put the trail. And I don't even see a way it's getting through there, but it's going to eventually. I got the chainsaw sharpened up here today. I got lots of gas and lots of oil. And if we have a look up this way, we're going to need it. So that's what we're up against today. I'm taking a little break from the sawmill shack. If you guys wanted to see where I get some of my lumber from, well, you're looking at it. Not all of it comes from the red pine forest. Some of it does come from situations like this. To be honest, I really hate seeing the bush like this. It is good habitat, so I'm going to leave some of the brush behind for some of the rough grouse we got kicking around, and we got some snowshoe hare and that sort of thing. Maybe some white-tailed deer. We'll use some of the browse. I'll leave that brush behind, but for the most part, I'm going to try to clear a path here. Once that path's clear, then we'll look at what's salvageable. And hopefully, we don't have any more tornadoes, because that has certainly made more work for myself than I certainly want. Anyways, that's what we're up against today. I'm glad you guys are all here, and, well, here we go. tell you, this wears the guy out here. I've been at it for a while, and you know, I'm hammering down pretty good, but this is definitely working me. The old 555, the Husky's working well though. Nice sharp chain on there. So far so good. I got a bunch of logs there. That's gonna end up as lumber one day. Hopefully not too far from now, because I got some snow coming and I gotta get these out of here or I'll never see them again. Well, at least not till the spring. Now I'm heading into this bunch of pile here, and that's gonna be quite the job. Have a look at that. Trees just bucked over on each other. They look pretty awful. Anyways, we'll get in there, give it our best shot. We'll win eventually. Yeah, maybe not today. Hopefully today. We'll see. Here we go. Struggle. All right, guys, just taking a little break here. This is definitely hard slugging for a guy like myself. We have cut quite a ways through already, and that was no easy task. It's hard footing, and if you look over here, it's very, very wet, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I've cut all the trees as best I can anyways into small sections and sometimes bigger sections for logs. I got to get through here with some piece of equipment to haul the logs out, and then I still have to pile up the brush. My goal, hopefully once this ground freezes, is to get the tractor in here. That way the wet soil will still be firm and I can drive on it, and I'll chip up some of this brush. The trouble is around here, usually we get a ton of snow before it freezes, and then we're euchred because all that stuff is under the snow. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I wanted to show you what one of the issues in this bush is. This bush has lost, it's probably lost several hundred trees through here in the last 6 months, and much of it was the result of a tornado, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. And some of these are from recent windstorms. You guys can see that a bunch of the trees have actually uprooted. Probably can't see some of them for the brush, but that was likely the result of the heavy winds and the tornado. But this right here is something different. This tree did not blow down. I cut it down a moment ago. You guys see that hole right there? That right there is root rot, so it goes all the way down into the roots, and as a result, any type of wind, if it doesn't blow it over, will eventually break it off, and you probably saw a few of those back there. So this forest, these conifers have some root rot, and it's causing havoc for sure. These trees are probably going to get replaced by the spruce behind it here eventually. You can see how quick the spruce come up. These spruce will take over, and then we'll hopefully get some of these hardwood trees popping up, and there's some white pines back yonder, so hopefully the forest recovers here soon. I just got to get I just got to get a trail through here so that I can get the logs that have some value out of here, and I can mill them up, or maybe get some of the firewood out of here so it doesn't rot. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to it. Just taking a little break here, so that's it. One thing I always tend to have time for is a coffee. You ever tried one of these Contigos? They're quite the unit here. That coffee I made at about 6 o'clock this morning, and it's quite a while after that, and this thing is still hot. Pretty slick. That's why I don't like cutting the dead ones like that. I prefer the wind to blow them over. They're a bit sketchy at best. I'm just taking a break here and just sort of thinking about what I've been up to today, and I've cut a heck of a lot of trees. And before you think to yourself, boy, that guy's doing a heck of a lot of damage to the bush, just keep this in mind. I do not wake up every morning and think to myself, I'm going to fire up the chainsaw and cut down the biggest tree on this property. I have some trees on here that are honkers, and you've seen them. I'm not going out to cut them. What I'm doing is I'm trying to bring the bush back to a natural state. When I'm in the red pine forest, that is a planted forest. That used to be a pasture. Then those trees were planted, and ultimately they grow into perfect rows. That does not have very good species diversity. When I talk about species diversity, I'm talking about everything from invertebrates down in the soil to birds up in the air. This has better species diversity. I'm trying to limit my impact on this forest by making this trail. You may not see it, but I'm actually thinking quite hard, how can I get through that bush without impacting the soil, without cutting down the most number of trees, actually cutting down the least number of trees, and making it so when I leave, it's a better place than when I got there. That's my whole goal here. If we have a look down here at this tree I just cut down, this was a dead standing tree, and this has been standing for a number of years. It's been dead for a long, long time, but I let it stay there. If I cut down every dead standing tree, well, that's taking away a food source or habitat for a lot of species. So what I do is I keep a lot of trees that are dead standing. That's going to provide that habitat for those species like this. As you guys can see in here, I don't think grass grows on the inside of dead trees. So this definitely was habitat for one organism or another. I let it stand for as long as possible. It was at the point now where it's going to blow over probably any day. And it's also right in the runway for this trail. So I figured this is the opportunity to do it. Do it before it gets super cold, before any species get in there and maybe hibernate for the winter. Anyways, that's my 2 cents there on keeping this place really diverse and making it so the species are definitely considered. If I was out here to make money, I would not be cutting this trail myself. I'd be hiring a logging company. They'd come through, cut every tree in here. I'd get a check, but it'd look like, well, you know what? That is not my goal here. My goal is to make this place very rich, lots of species, and I'm talking all species, while at the same time giving me a little bit of wood to go out and cut some lumber. You guys come on back next time. I'm going to haul out some lumber. I'm going to get some firewood, and we'll probably get the tractor in here before long, and hopefully the winter cooperates and we can get all that done before we get like 2, 3, 4 feet of snow. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you all watching. Come on back next time, then. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.